So what I'm so impressed with what I'm seeing here is that we have even plant height, we have even and equidistant plant spacing, and we also have equal stalk diameter, which is very important for, you want everything you have emerging to be as even as possible for the best potential yield. This stuff all came up within probably 12 to 24 hours, and that was in really tough conditions. I was so excited to see if we dig down, you know, most of this, the seed was placed around 2 inches deep, exactly where I had it set. And there was no sidewall compaction. I was very happy with that. It had just the perfect amount of downforce to maintain ground contact 100% of the time. And I was a little nervous when I was planting what it was gonna do when it came up, but when we're back in the field, and this is probably the third or fourth time I checked this, it's just extremely even and equidistant, spaced perfectly. About every plant is there. It just blows my mind with the amount of speed that I was planting this. The productivity, and to have this kind of a stand in emergence is just unheard of. I'm just very happy and pleased with it, and I'm very difficult to please when it comes to having a perfect stand, and this is as close as I've ever seen, so I'm very, very ecstatic about what we're seeing here today. My dad actually said it was probably the best stand he's ever had in 40 years of farming. So in the past 43 years, he's planted with John Deere's. This is his first year with the Kinze High Speed planter. And he is very ecstatic about the stand as well, and especially for 43 years, and especially in no-till. It's truly says something when you can do this kind of a stand in no-till conditions, especially with as adverse of a spring as we had this year. I'm just super impressed with how this planter performed, and I couldn't be happier actually. Last year I had a competitive brand planter, and it was also a high speed. I was a little nervous with the way it was going to perform, so that's why I moved into the Kinze Blue Vantage True Speed, and I was so thrilled to have this Kinze because I put it through some adverse conditions and it performed absolutely well. And some of the neighbors around the area that still retain that competitive high-speed planter had the same issues as last year, so I was so glad that I changed. Everyone was asking me how the Kinze was working, and then when they were driving by when the corn was emerging, they're all commenting on how perfectly spaced it was. You could see right across from the road. It was just perfectly spaced and emerging. It was beautiful. It was really nice to see how easy it was to change over. It took minimal time compared to the competitive brands that we've had in the past. It was so simple, and there weren't loose parts that were falling all over. It was just really seamless. Very happy with it. It was so nice to realize that time savings this year, and we got probably a half day more in between changing the corn from the corn to the soybeans. And then the setup, we probably saved another half day as well. Even just checking the row units and not having to empty the seed if there might have been a malfunction or a row plugged with the fertilizer, just being able to stand it up on the kickstand, check it, and change all the meters without having to have a whole bunch of tools and little hardware that you could lose. It was really simple and really time saving. It did exactly as advertised for planting exactly how I wanted at the speeds that I was traveling at. I was done with all of my planting in 6 days, and I've never had that before. It's always been probably 10 to 14 days. We put a lot into these farms, our blood, sweat, and tears, and I know that sounds cliche, but it just feels like these farms are an extension of who we are, and that's why it's so important to me to have a great planter on it, because we get to watch this crop grow 4 months, and it's just the Kinze family and what they stand for is really congruent with what I stand for, so I'm just very happy to align with them and work with them and have this kind of result. This is what you hope for, pray for, and I'm just very content with it.